For some odd reason, the computer connection, there's a storm coming, I think, in Ontario. Um, so it's not that stable. Should be all right though. Hopefully the internet will stay. It's just hooked up to my iPhone right now. So what's being expressed here is quite clear that all that there is unconditional love. But somehow, the moment that the apparent illusory character interrupts it and says, "How do I get that unconditional love?" And it, sorry, second, I'm going to mute everyone. Okay. See, that's unconditional love. Just expressing itself right there, just trying to make its presence. So yeah, so all that there is unconditional love, and somehow when the character comes in and tries to grasp it, tries to understand it, tries to um, be it, then it obscures it completely. What's being expressed here is that there's just this unconditional love that can't help but loving itself unconditionally over and over and over and over and over and over, even when there's a rejection of it, even when there is a denial of it. So this is already unconditional love. Some seekers would look for that resonance with this unconditional love. It's always here. It never leaves. You're drowning in it. But somehow when you try to figure it out, you reject it. It appears as everything. It appears as your sorrow, your seeking, your sadness. It appears in the finding and the seeking. It's like when two puppies are playing really roughly. That's unconditional love. So there's this apparent story. This is just a story. There was an apparent deepening last was it last week? There was this walking around in the downtown Toronto at night, and there was this really kind of like almost like seedy part of the place, and I used to avoid that. And I was just walking in, and there was just this seeing. There was an in loveness with it, in loveness with whatever. There's no one here, so there's just this in loveness of what was appearing. It could be someone trying to scam you, someone trying to rob you, someone trying to sell you something. There was just this openness to everything that was happening because it sees itself in it. It cannot separate itself from itself. All that is appearing is all unconditional love. And then the following day, there was just this woke up. I was like, oh wow, everything is unconditional love. Everything is the snoring, the waking up, the breakfast, the sun. Everything is. And there was just this almost euphoric, although this is just a story, this never happened. So there was this euphoria about this unconditional love. And of course, the following day, the body collapsed. Could not move out of the bed, could not eat any food, could not function at all, could not poop, could not pee for like maybe about 5 days. But that was also unconditional love. So it appears in the most blissful apparent situations, like walking in a really dangerous part of the city. And then also um, in a seeing that everything is it's kind of like it's like my mom thought that thinks that I'm in love, and now she thinks I'm just really crazy because I'm looking at glasses now. It's kind of like I'm like this just keeps on deepening. There's just this in loveness, falling in love with everything, and even the shittiest stuff. Someone was trying to sell me this Playboy kind of like a cologne, which was a fake. Well, even if it was real, I would not have purchased it. Um, and then he said $50. I'm like, I'll give you $100. It's just that madness. It's that madness of what seems to be happening. It's just this. And then or even like sitting like the fourth day and fourth day kind of like not being able to eat anything, don't know what's happening, went to the hospital, and then they can't find anything at all. And there was just this in loveness though with it. I'm like, oh wow. Of course there's going to be some moments of kind of like, oh shit, this really hurts. But that's also what is. So whatever you're seeking for is already what is. What is already longed for is the appearance of whatever it is appearing at this apparent moment. It's already here. It never leaves. It's so in love with itself that it appears in separation. And then when it shows up as headache, as poverty, as vile stuff, it unconditionally loves itself. It can't help but love itself. It's madness. So that's been the past week for this character. And there's a lot of stuff coming out. I was just writing because I can't really do anything. I can't even watch TV. So I was just like, write something. I'm like, oh, that's really beautiful. Write something. Um, so in this apparent, again, there's no one that deepens. There's no deepening. This is just a story of a crazy character that somehow embraced everything dark one night and was more in love than ever. And there's nothing relevant about that at all. Nothing. I was doing a one-on-one earlier today. So the little kind of like minuscule problems, they're not even problems. I can't get rid of them. He seems really comical now. Because that's just unconditional love playing with itself. It's playing hide and seek. And I just kind of like bursted in laughter most of the one-on-one. Luckily, the person had did not get offended or anything like that. But let's what time is it now? But yeah, it's just this unshakable feeling, not even feeling. It's just this unshakable um, intuitiveness that all that there is love, loving itself infinitely. That's it. It's just really simple. Love, unconditionally loving itself in its all appearances, in all forms, infinitely. And that's it. So even the agitation or the confusion is also unconditional love. Appearing in whatever it is. I thought deepening was going to be hardcore. This more is kind of like almost like really romantic now. It loves everything. If you have any questions, please, if you just want to chat, I haven't chatted with you guys for quite a while. Please go ahead. How are you? Even if there's no you and there's no how.
Yeah, hi. Can I speak? This is Vera.
Oh, hi, Vera. Hi.
Hi. That's so funny. That's basically what seems to be happening.
Yeah.
Everything is love and in love. So you got a surprise. Looks like you might have thought you got something more radical would come in, or weird, or God knows what.
It dumps down the speaker.
Yeah, it dumbs down the speaker. And what's interesting, even like narcissism, I know myself and others, we like to talk about narcissism, but it sounds like it's a image of unconditional love.
It
It
is.
loves itself,
Yeah.
right? It loves itself no matter what.
It loves itself
And
so much it creates separation. So it can love itself over and over again, nonstop.
nonstop, right? So that's funny. So this is the positive side, if there is such a thing, to narcissism. And
There's no such thing as narcissism anyway. It's just a word.
right,
Yeah.
it's just a word, like everything is all words. But it's funny, and it's just all this unconditional love. And I was hanging out with my Course in Miracle friends and doing our study group, and under the category of prayer, the first introduction, that's basically what it talked about. It was all about just being in love with the divine, and we are the divine, and we're just in ecstatic love.
It loves its own reflection and it keeps on dancing to it.
Yeah, and so that's what we were talking about last night, and it was so great. It was like I was feeling this love presence and love connection of the
Beautiful.
ecstatic divine love. So it was wonderful. So
Beautiful.
yeah,
Yeah.
there you go. So we're on the same page for now, anyway.
Well, not in any page, but
We're
it's
on the
just
same.
unconditional love.
Yeah, thank you for bringing that up. That was great.
Love ya.
Love you.
Kane goes, how is this similar to Fight Club? I like that movie Fight Club, and there's this character that thank you for that question, Kane. There's this character that um, has a friend, like a really kind of like cool friend, and solves all of its problem. And towards the end, sorry for the, uh, there's a realization that there's no friend. There was just all imagined. And there's a line there: when you lose all of hope, there is freedom. And kind of like Fight Club, you know, when the first rule of non-duality club is you don't talk about non-duality club, which was evident to my mom when she was talking to me. I'm like, how come you're smiling when you're going through agony and you can't eat? I'm like, I don't know. I don't know what's happening. It's just this curiousness about what's happening, right? Like, I can't move out of bed. I can't take care of my dog, but it's okay. That's what's happening. Oh, thank you for that comment. Thank you. Ollie, hi.
Hi, Emerson.
Hello.
Oh, nice talking to you.
You know, he's talking to you too.
Yeah. Um. Um. What's another word for seeing?
I'm not really sure. I try
Yeah.
to kind of like,
Yeah. That's a story, but
yeah, because if you see witnessing or observing, then there's someone doing it.
yes.
Yeah, seeing is more direct, kind of like because there's
Mm,
no one behind the seeing.
mm,
Because when you say witnessing, then even to say that there's no one witnessing, then there's this idea that there's a higher power witnessing it or something. There's no
yeah.
hierarchies or anything like that. So, um,
And
seeing
and
is,
there's
or
not even
sometimes I call
seeing.
it, it's not even seeing. So it's more
Yeah.
like intuitiveness, this resonance, right? This,
Yeah.
this, um,
Mm,
this
mm,
energetic vibration about something. That's what was seen. It was kind of like looking around, and everything is just a vibratic, uh, an energetic vibration of love,
mm.
appearing as whatever. Because it loves itself so much, it appears as whatever. That's
Yeah.
how deep unconditional love is. It appears as whatever,
Mm.
and it's never rejected. So this is what unconditional love is apparently doing right now. Is it's offering this over and over again, emptiness, emptiness, emptiness. But
Mm.
apparent characters want their version of emptiness or their version of unconditional love. So it's almost kind of like it's not good enough for me. So there's a specialness that rises when there is a rejection of it, or how come how I want the story to end. So it's creating another narrative, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Sure. No more need to change anything.
No more need to change it. It's always enough.
No need at all.
Yeah.
That's a good, such a good. No need to know. No, no, no need of anything. That's so great. Just love.
It is it's just all around everything. it's
Yeah.
it's just it's like there was one time that it felt like a Disney movie, one of those opening sequences in a Disney movie that everything is just kind of like, yeah.
I cut, but it's all right. Okay. Thank
All
you,
right,
Emerson.
thank you, Ollie. In that seeing too, there was a a deepening of some topics that I used to talk about, and in specifically time, right? Time is a very persistent illusion. It's a very it's a very prominent device in believing that there is reality. It's a very almost very complicated illusion because it's supported by visual, feeling, memories, um, and it's supported. But what's supporting it is illusion to maintain the illusion. Because if you take away the concept of time, when it's just seen that this is just what's happening, then there's nowhere to get to. There's nowhere to go. And then when ideas about illusions about what happened in the past just becomes really laughable because they don't have any more weight to it.
Yes, but Emerson, memories can come also and can be part of the everything.
Oh yeah, yeah, that's also unconditional
Me-
love. Yeah, it's not about getting rid of anything, but it's just seeing it deeply, right? They're like, oh wow, that's how, there's no how, but that's how seemingly it functions in the story. That the memory backs up an idea of separation and then maintains it.
Okay, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. It's
Yeah,
quite neat. It's quite neat. It's quite
yeah.
neat. I have another 12 session coming up because of this. It's like it's gone. It's when I say deeper, it just means that it has gone simpler.
Mm-hmm.
It
Yes. Yeah.
clarifies. It kind of like gets away all of this um ideas about and and particularly time, right? Because memories, all that kind of stuff, it's just this singular illusion that appears as memory, as a scar, as a tattoo, that maintains that there is time. The
Mm.
aging, it's quite brilliant actually. Um, the the stomach, you're like, what did I eat this morning? My stomach is not good. That kind of thing. It maintains all of this
Yeah.
stuff, but it just keeps on appearing in different forms, and it's
Yeah.
just a really a play of time. It's timelessness playing of what if we do this? It's just this whole thing that's apparently happening, but for no apparent reason.
Mm.
So when it's
Yes,
seen
for
as
no
just
reason.
as a play, then it becomes a little bit laughable now. You're like, oh, that's really funny. Yeah.
Emerson, hi,
Oh,
hello.
hi. Hi, hi.
Can you? Hello, hi. Just about time. Is there any? It seems like people are saying they're running out of time. There's no time, so you get
Yeah.
up in the morning. Is that anything to do with? Could you speak on that?
Well, when there is, again, it's a very persistent illusion that supports that reality is real, right? It keeps on maintaining itself over and over again. So, for example, when um this character used to be very kind of like time set, you know what I'm saying? Very time scheduled, because this was a spiritual teacher, had all of this kind of like thing. Now it's almost like there is that still, but there's no more seriousness in it. There's no more kind of like, oh, if I made a mistake in timing, then that's okay, or if I can't make that time, then that's okay, because it's all an illusion. Unconditional love will always love itself, regardless.
So the fact that it seems to be getting less time is because it's
Oh, okay, okay, that.
really, yeah, it's really not there.
Yeah, it's not really there, and time is just a really real concept. Um, a 10-year-old and a 90-year-old can die. You know what I'm saying? And and yeah, it's not real, right? But the concept that this is real is supported by these ideas, this narrative, although all of them are coming all at the same time. There's just this illusion. It's kind of like an accordion, right? An accordion can, like, when you expand it, it feels like, oh wow, that's a lot of time, but really when you collapse it, it's really not there. It's
So,
just an illusion.
yeah,
It's just an
yeah.
illusion of movement, right?
So
since you're
that's
not
why.
there
Yeah.
since you're not there and there's no one here, there's never a you in time. And let's take it further, there's no time, so there cannot be a you.
So
For
this is
you.
why the me is kind of feeling there's not enough of it at the moment because this is coming clearer. Oh,
Yeah,
that's not
yeah.
in a
Yeah,
way.
that could be a story as well, but there's this resonance as well, that when there's not enough of it, it's just kind of like you don't it's either you used to value time so much, or you don't give a care about it, that there seems to be either a loosening of it, or kind of like a whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Corey.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hey, Emerson. To me, love sounds less simple than there's just what's happening, but also somehow more satisfying. Yeah, I don't usually talk about unconditional love, and people that have attended my meetings, I this character is kind of like, oh, I don't want to answer that, because it's really unknowable, but it's just a word again. Love, or there's just what's happening, are words. Some people will get really, they don't like hearing conditional love. They can, like, let's not talk about that. And some people like hearing about that. But guess what? There's no people. Petra, go ahead.
Hi.
Hi, Petra.
Everyone knows that there's a meeting I missed the beginning. Okay.
Oh, sorry, sorry. I just announced it. Sorry about that.
An hour ago, yeah. Yeah, here's total confusion. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't think I ever had a, I don't know what. I don't know anything.
You can exchange the word unconditional love to emptiness. Emptiness is emptiness. Emptiness is in love with emptiness, that it appears as fullness. Everything that seems to appear is just this separation, but there's actually just wholeness. Yeah. How are you doing with your puppy? Did you adopt it?
Not yet. Of course, everyone says don't do it when he's sick, and yeah, and when I don't do it there, then there's so much grief again because of my dog that I lost. I don't know. I don't know what to do. Okay, there's no one who can do anything. Yes,
Yeah.
but it feels it feels like that I have to make a decision, and
Yeah.
my family wouldn't be happy with taking a sick dog, and yeah, but it would help me to get over.
Yeah, yeah. What you don't have any, there's no one doing this anyway, right? You're either going to do it or not do it, and whatever happens is what's happening. Since there's no choice to do that, right? Um,
How come it feels like I had a choice? It's so
because
strong.
that's the idea
That's
that
the
I am
perfect
making a
illusion.
choice. Yeah, yeah. So it creates that suffering, right? When you think that you have a choice, and then are you making the wrong choice or the right choice? Is this going to happen? Is this is this good for me or bad for me? So it creates this narrative over and over again. Creates this sequence of understanding of something that is not even happening. So it's making things really sticky. It's making things really kind of like really compacted and contracted and all that kind of stuff, right? Because it gets caught up in this house that is locking up all this door because it can't figure out. When it all really has to do is just open the doors, and if it stays, it stays. It doesn't, it doesn't. If it chooses to, if it chooses not, at least the doors are open. So whatever happens, because there's no one that can. No one has ever made any decision. There's no decision maker, right?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
It's good to see you.
Oh, good to see you
I
too.
missed you and all the folks. Yes.
Oh, I know, I know, I know. That's why I did this one. But don't worry, I have lots of events coming up. There's just it's almost like it's kind of funny. It's like there is a purging of the body. Now it's getting re-energized to talk about stuff again. Although I didn't choose to do this, it's just this happening. It's kind of neat. It's kind of neat. David.
Hello, 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 hello.
Hey,
Hey,
David.
Emerson, how are you? Good to
Oh,
see
how are
you.
you doing? Good to see
Yeah,
you
very
too.
good, thank you. Very good. Right, yeah, so while we're on the subject of dogs, and following on from what you said just a moment ago about nobody making decisions, I want to very briefly, very quickly, just tell you a very short story about what happened yesterday when I was walking the dog. So I'm doing an 8-kilometer walk with my dog, and he stopped on the way. Well, we were probably about half an hour from finishing, and on the way back, he got this smell at a little bush.
Ooh.
And he really liked this smell, whatever it was. I don't know if he'd maybe found the scent of a bitch that was in heat or something, but he really liked this smell. Anyway, I didn't give him any time to sniff because I wanted to just get back to the car. So I pulled him away from the smell and I kept walking. And I walked for another 20 meters. And as I was walking, the apparent me was having this dialogue about how could you be so mean to your dog and, all the rest of it. And then something really quite surprising happened, which took me, as I say, took me by surprise. And that was, without making any conscious decision whatsoever, the body did a 180-degree turn and walked all the way back to that bush and let the dog sniff for as long as he wanted to. And I can say without any shadow of a doubt, I had no part in that decision to turn around. Not even a quarter of a second before spinning round on the spot did I think I'm turning back. It absolutely did not happen. The body turned around and walked back, and I could not believe it.
Yeah.
And that's all the proof you need to know that nobody's making decisions, because the self was there quite happily having this internal dialogue with itself. There was definitely not a decision made. Anyway, thought I'd share that.
Totally. Sometimes, when you're about to do a big clean in a house, right? You're kind of like do this and everything, and then you get stuck doing some stuff. It's like you have like 30 minutes to clean the house, and you're kind of like looking through photo books and everything. What am I doing? And it's just because there's no one doing any of this. These characters are not really that efficient, at task makers, because there's no one doing any of it. It's not really controlled.
Yep.
It's just really chaos in a body, swirling around doing stuff, and then the organizer, which is the illusory organizer, thinks that it can organize chaos by suggesting that there's a choice, that there is something that you can do.
Yes.
Because it's just chaos. It's like twirling all over the place. Sometimes that's just what I see. It's just chaos, and it's beautiful chaos too, right? Because it's kind of like everyone is. I used to live in downtown, where at 3 o'clock in the morning, I would get awakened by all of these people coming out of the pubs and the bars and all that kind of stuff, and then most of them are kind of like super drunk, and I would just look out the window sometimes and just watch all of these characters kind of like moving around. There's no one there.
Yeah.
There's no one there. It's there's this pub that was used to be in the area where I lived, that it gets really, really rowdy there, right? So everybody that comes out are almost like blacked out. So you see this objects kind of like, bumping into each other, don't really know what they're doing, trying to kind of like, put a smoke into their cheek, all that kind of stuff is just really hilarious. And I'm watching over it. This is like that. It's a chaos that's trying to be organized by illusion, but illusion can organize chaos. This is wildness. Kind of like you turning 180 degree and letting you talk. By the way, that's what I do with my doggy right now. It's just, if he wants to stay there, I'm like, okay, all right, that's what you want.
Yeah, it's nice.
It's nice, right?
Yeah,
like
definitely. So, I mean, sometimes it's nice with your dog just to take him out for a short walk and just let it be a sniffing walk, so that they control everything. That you don't control any of it. You just let them sniff. Yeah.
And the funny thing the funny thing is they don't even know who's controlling, because they don't see you.
Yeah, that's it. Yep. I know. We see them just because we project.
That's right. We even named them.
Okay, good to see you again, Emerson. Thanks for that.
Thank you.
Someone else chat.
Hey, Rosa.
Hey, Emmy.
How are you
Hello.
doing?
I love you.
I love you too.
I just felt such a strong energy just to say hello, and was so touched. I don't know, when I read your first email a couple of days ago, I don't know. I just was like, the vibration was so strong. And then you wrote one hour ago this email. I was like, pure and unknown perfection in action.
Yes.
So beautiful. Yeah. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
For nothing and everything. I just love you. Mwah.
Thank you. Love you.
Enjoy.
Too. Thank you. Pure and known perfection already.
Aloha, Emerson.
Who's that? Is it Chris?
Yeah.
Is it Chris Emerson?
I'm actually wearing a shirt today that says Emerson Family Trip. Made out of mushrooms.
Oh, nice.
You know, the one, someone was asking about a different word for seeing, and I like the word, I mean, intuitiveness is nice. I also like the word gnosis, like direct knowing now.
Nosising?
Gnosisingness. And you've talked before about like there not being any meaning, but for me it's like even though I don't know what anything means, everything is extremely meaningful.
And that's completely fine.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and like that, you know, like when you talk about the romanticness, you know, it's like
Yeah. If you probably, you know, my parents probably think that I have meaning and purpose because I'm happy all the time. And it seems like that I'm in love, you know what I'm saying? They probably think, but yeah, it's just this.
I don't know why I'm happy, and like yeah, and you're totally the wrong guy to ask why I'm happy.
It's just happiness happening. And the character tries to obscure it by asking, why am I happy?
It's like maybe I am happy because I don't know why I'm happy or something.
Yeah, even that is trying to know it.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter. Yeah.
No, it doesn't matter. Happiness is just happening. Enjoy.
Can't not. Yeah.
Yeah. How much mushrooms did you take, Chris?
Hey. Don't ask, don't tell.
Share on the breakout room there. uh, there's a question here from. Oh, there's a lot of questions. Sorry. How can one keep experiencing chronic pain or decades on end? It's hard to feel and live in unconditional love in this state. It seems life, like all my existence, is just pain in eternity. Yeah, it's quite hard. It's quite hard. And as I said earlier, after that euphoric first kind of like couple of days of just seeing this, like, oh wow, it's just in love with everything. It geared its ugly head, you know, by having pain for about 5 days, or I don't know how long. Um, Even though I was happy because there was this happiness here, there was also irritability of why this is happening. But for no one. So pain happens. It's also unconditional love. So unconditional loves itself so much it appears as chronic pain that appears every day to be loved unconditionally. Unconditional love loves itself so much that even it appears as something that's quite painful, quite painful, it can't help but love itself. If you want to add to that, Jack, please go ahead. I'm sorry about that, dude.
Not really
That must
much
be.
to add really to that.
What's that?
I tried to keep it as brief as possible.
Yeah, that must be difficult. That must be I can't even imagine. Um but yeah, you know what I'm saying? Conditional love. See, there's this idea of what unconditional love should be, and that's what obscures it, right?
Yeah.
It appears as everything, and it even appears as chronic pain, as I said. So when it's seen as that, when it's seen as a play, not as a permanence, not as a punishment, not as something that is happening to me, not personalized, or not taken into kind of like a level that, you know, why me? And then what happens is once it's seen that it's just unconditional love appearing as this unfortunate, you know, pain that appears all the time, then what could seem to appear is just this relaxation about that. It's just pain happening. That seems to what would have happened here. Although it's not chronic pain. There was just kind of like um, there was just I could not eat. I could not do anything. But that was also a lot of pain. There was the irritation about it. Um, but in between that, or not in between, but all throughout that, there's just unconditional love, accepting what's being offered to it to love unconditionally. That's it. Kane, how's the book made? I've been asked that so many times now. um, should be the editor that I'm working with is still working with a couple of books, but those books should be finished soon, and yeah, hopefully soon. I have a third book on the I already have a third book that I started writing while in bed. Don't worry, but when I have this kind of like book idea, I turn it into an apparent 12-part virtual event with all the chapters as titles, and then yeah.
Emerson, I
Hi.
just hello, I'm back. Yeah, talking about pain and
Yeah.
it's unconditional love, because Tony always calls it the invitation, I think.
Mm.
I'm not quite sure why, because it does seem to bring the pain sort of for the me sort of takes one in more rather than out in the world. Would that be something to do with it?
It's just for this character, it's not it's not something that cannot be um, separated. It's wholeness itself. Pain is whole. So when it appears, meaning that it's also divinity or whatever it is appearing as, so whatever words that people might want to use, beloved, unconditional love. I know it
Invitation.
sounds invitation, so it sounds very romantic, but so what? You know what I'm saying? It brings lightness to it a little bit. When I was going through that, I'm like, the emptiness can't seem to empty its stomach. Or emptiness is emptying itself when I was throwing up. It's just so there was lightness to it. There's lightness to it. I still walk slowly a little bit, but I went walking the other day, and I don't know what it is. But there's just this seeing that whatever was deepening appears in everything. The in-loveness appears in everything, and the acceptance or the invitation appears in everything. Even at the most kind of like tragic nights where I was like, I have not been able to sleep because I keep on burping. And I kept on taking all of this Tums or whatever. But again, that's just a story. That's just a story, right? So all that there is this, and everything is an invitation of unconditional love to love itself.
So what was the connection between when you were walking in the street that night in this rough sort of area and what happened to you? I kind of missed that.
Yeah. It was just walking down the street, right? And usually I would avoid that street, in Toronto, and and because I would be kind of like, and this is a really really funny story. So when there was just this seeing, this kind of like this lens widening, almost it felt like lens widening, that all of the characters that are playing are all unconditional love disguised as hoodlums or whatever that you might think it is, or con artist or whatever. They're all appearing, and this seeing here recognizes it, like, that's what it is. It just keeps on appearing as separate from each other, so it can love itself over and over again, because its function it can only do one thing, which is to love itself.
Sounds like you're talking about a person loving
Not
itself.
really.
No?
Well, you can call it emptiness loving itself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's just emptiness and all the appearances or illusions, right? Getting caught up in the word, it's okay. You know what I'm saying? It's just okay. There's a relaxedness about wordings here, but yeah, emptiness loving itself. Um, Tony will call it the perfect lover.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
We'll call it the beloved, which you will think it's a person as well. You know what I'm saying? But it's not. It's just words are really tricky to kind of like express this, right? It's because the illusion can only speak in illusions. So it speaks in illusory terms and imagery of something that cannot be expressed as an illusion. Yeah, there's just this clarity that whatever is happening is just this wholeness, it's just this stillness, that everything is just unconditional. Well, we don't even have to call it love. We'll just call it unconditional. That loves unconditionality and all of its appearances. That's better. That's more radical. Although it doesn't matter.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you. Hi, Eliana. What time is it there for you?
Oh, it's not too bad. It's almost 7 o'clock.
Nice.
Yeah.
I think I've caught you at like 2 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah. Yeah. I like this time. It's a bit rough for Susie still, but.
Hi, Susie.
So loves itself.
Yeah.
So much that it's willing to appear as a me.
Yeah. It's willing to appear as separation because unconditional or unconditional or undivided love appears as a division. Wow. Yeah. That's what unconditional love is. Although we can never know it, it can't help loving.
Isn't that wonderful?
Yeah.
It's wonderful to see you and everyone too.
Yeah, I missed you guys.
Yeah. And the weekend is going to be amazing.
Yes.
All your playmates are coming.
Yes, they are. Yeah.
Excellent. I love you, Emerson.
Love you too, Eliana.
Bye.
You should do a non-duality film. This is a non-duality film.
Hi, Emerson.
Oh, Anita, how are you doing?
Hi.
Were you in
Yeah,
France with Andreas?
yes,
Oh,
yes, that was
nice.
great. Yes, it was
Nice.
beautiful. Yeah. So yes, I can't say anything about it, but I love your sharing. There's a recognition of a story in myself that has also that pain, and yeah, there is so much love. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, good to see you again.
Yeah.
I can't say anything now. I see a beautiful cat outside. I'm sitting in the car. I see a beautiful cat, so I'm going outside and love you.
That's mostly more belovedly beautiful.
Yeah.
Cat.
Yes.
Yeah.
See you soon.
See you soon. So I'm not sure if you guys remember, for people that wears glasses anyway, when there is a fitting and you maybe wait like a few years until your next prescription, and then the optometrist goes, this one or this one, this one or this one, until you see clear the picture. It's always seen. It's always seen. But what seems to happen in an apparent deepening is it gets clearer. It's kind of like getting a new prescription. That everything is never separate. That nothing is ever incomplete. Or it's kind of like you're seeing the tip of your fingers, and then you pull out and you're like, oh, it's just one hand. Nothing is ever separate. Or there's just this energetic openness, which some people call unconditional love, that is just always boundlessly around, repeating itself over and over and over, basically saying, you're home, you're here, nothing's missing, you never left. Oh, by the way, you are not here. So you could have never left. You could have never seeked. You could have never longed for. Nothing was ever absent. Because it's always infinitely unconditional. Thisness. And in this thisness, there's this this variations of what unconditional love should be, or what it should not be. What it should be and should not be are just variations of basically screwing with it. Because everything is already unconditional love. Anxiety is unconditional love. Pain is unconditional love. A latte is unconditional love. A horrible feeling is unconditional love. And this is just a story, but it's almost like every single thing is an opportunity to unconditionally love itself. But since most characters, and this is just another story, have seemed to have an idea of what love is, it's this romanticized idea of what love is, it completely obscures what's already being presented. So what's being presented is already complete. The good, the bad, and the ugly is unconditional love. The ideas of what it should be and should not be is also unconditional love. So it's completely inescapable. Oh, sorry, Eliana. I did not mean to do that. Sorry about that. I don't know what I was talking about now, but go ahead, please, Eliana. Go ahead. Hi, Eliana. Oh, I can't hear you now.
Thank you. Yeah, I wasn't going to say anything else.
Oh, okay.
Still lovely to see you again.
Lovely to see you. I'm going to have another meeting coming up this weekend, and I have this meeting with Ariana and Theo in Toronto. If you guys are from Toronto, if you want to come by, it'll be fun. It will be also be available on a it'll just be a play. It'll just be fun. And if you also guys want to do kind of like the I like doing the long format. You know what I'm saying? Where it's just kind of like nonstop madness and maybe dancing at the end for next weekend, not this weekend. I'm going to open up the breakout room. I'll see you guys on Friday. Love you all emptily, unconditionally.
Love you, Emerson.
Love you.
Thanks,
Love
Emerson.
you.
Take care, mate. Love you, man.
Thank you.
Good to see you back, Emerson.
Yeah, it's good to be back. It's good
Love
to
you,
be
man.
back.
Thanks, Emerson.
I love you all. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you.
Bye.
I forgot to post this on
Thank
Facebook.
you.
I mean YouTube. Sorry about that.
Thanks, Emerson.
Thank you, Manuela. I'll see you guys at the breakout room. And thank you so much, everyone.